Hello and welcome to the Domination Podcast YouTube channel. Thank you very much for checking out a segment from our full show, which can be found on all streaming services at Domination Podcast. New episodes are available every Tuesday and Friday, so be sure to check it out. With all that being said, let's talk some sports. The NBA is back. After only 71 days, we are treated to NBA opening night and two great matchups. First of all, we had the Brooklyn Nets against the Golden State Warriors. Let me start there. Kevin Durant looked like Kevin Durant last night. He was incredible. If this is what he's going to look like on his first game back, imagine what happens when he actually gets his legs back. Imagine once he gets into the swing of things. He is going to be a scary player. Although the Achilles injury is a serious injury, Kevin Durant never relied upon athleticism. He wasn't trying to jump out the gym. He wasn't trying to beat you with quickness or speed. He has quickness and speed, but what makes him so unguardable is he is 7 foot tall with a 10-foot wingspan. He can shoot at a 10-foot apex, and there is nothing you can do to get close to it. Kevin Durant can flat out score the ball, and there's not much you can do about it. Speaking of scoring the basketball, how about this guy Kyrie Irving? Now, as much as people want to clown on him for being burning sage and being a terrible teammate, all the rest of it, this guy can flat out score. That first quarter was seriously incredible. Him and Kevin Durant took the game over and said, enough's enough. This game was literally over at the end of the first quarter. That was a serious show of force, and it basically showed everyone that if Brooklyn can somehow sort out their chemistry, sort out whatever is going on with their coaching, they are going to be a serious problem. Now, speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, let's focus on their bench for a second. I need to give them more credit, because I think we all realize that they had some talent, but the way they played last night was seriously impressive. You have guys like Caris LeVert, Jared Allen, Jeff Green, Taurean Prince. These guys can all play. Caris LeVert is an Energizer Bunny off the bench. He can score. Jared Allen defends the rim. Jeff Green is just that solid veteran you need around the team who can come off the bench, can steady the team down, and knows how to make the right plays. He has been on championship teams and he understands what is required day in and day out, and he is a constant professional. Taurean Prince is a classic 3-and-D guy. He can defend, he can shoot well enough, and he's just a solid guy to have on your bench. So realistically, their second unit could be a starting team. Seriously. And I need to give them more credit. As good as Brooklyn played last night, defensively I did notice a few things, especially on the perimeter. There were a couple of times where even Curry, of all people, was left completely wide open. Now, I think they defend the rim particularly well, but especially on the perimeter, I'm not 100% sold on their perimeter defense, and going up against good teams with good shooting, they're going to come into some serious trouble. Overall, I thought this was a great start for Brooklyn. Now let's move on to Golden State. Let me start with Steph Curry. He looked rusty. He looked out of touch, and it looked like he hadn't played basketball for a little while. That being said, I'm not concerned at all, because I know he's coming off a long injury, and playing in the preseason is one thing, but playing opening night against legit NBA guys is completely different. I'm not concerned that he's going to continually have these issues. He will get better, he will get his legs back underneath him, he'll get back in the swing of things, and he'll be fine. That being said, what else is around him? With Klay Thompson going down with that serious Achilles injury, who else is left? Andrew Wiggins. Now, Andrew Wiggins is a solid player. He can be your third or fourth best player on a good team. But Andrew Wiggins is simply not that guy. He just is not that guy. He does not have that dog in him. He is not a number 2 guy on a good team. He just isn't. He is limited. What does he do well? He can't really score at an elite level. He's not a great shooter. He's not great defensively. And he can't distribute or rebound the ball particularly well. He's just sort of average at a lot of things. And for the money he's on right now, I just can't see Golden State sticking around with him. Now, I seriously think Golden State's going to trade him, and the way he's playing right now, I don't think it's going to be very long. Let me move on to Kelly Oubre. Now, I really like Kelly Oubre, simply because he plays hard. He will give you everything he's got, and he will play his heart out for the team. That being said, he does have some limitations. He's sort of similar with Wiggins in the fact that he doesn't really do anything well. He sort of does everything okay. He can shoot okay. He's good defensively. But is he an elite defender? No. Is he an elite shooter? Not really. But he gives his heart out. And I thought he had a solid debut for Golden State last night. James Wiseman. Let me move to him. I liked what I saw, but I think we need to provide some context to a lot of the points that he scored. It was going up against pretty much in garbage time against second team guys, so I'm not 100% sold. I mean, you look at the stats, if you didn't watch the game, you think, okay, he had sort of had a decent night, a few rebounds, good amount of points. He was okay. I thought he had a good debut without being outstanding, but I think they're looking for a little more from him being the second overall pick. It was a big stage, opening night against the Brooklyn Nets. one of the better teams in the NBA. But he certainly didn't shy away from it. He didn't look like it fazed him. He looked poised. There were some good signs from him. I think it's fair to say that we need a few more games to judge him appropriately. The rest of the Golden State Warriors, has anyone heard of any of them? Because they just look like a bunch of guys to me. Jordan Poole, anyone know who that is? No? Yeah, I think that's going to be the problem for Golden State. I think they rely too much on Steph Curry, and they just need him to be a superstar, just play at an extremely high level. Draymond going down was a big loss, and I know what he does for that team, but even with Steph Curry and Draymond, I just don't see Golden State going anywhere. Because Andrew Wiggins isn't that guy. Kelly Oubre has limitation. I can't see them being higher than a 7th or an 8th seed, and that's with Steph Curry playing at an MVP level. He's very capable of doing that, but is it going to happen? I'm not sold. But with the West being so loaded, I just can't see them going any higher. Unless James Wiseman is the second coming of Shaquille O'Neal, I don't know. It doesn't look like they have enough. Thank you all for checking out that video on the Domination Podcast YouTube channel. Be sure to check full episodes of the podcast available on all streaming services every Tuesday and Monday at Domination Podcast. And be sure to follow our social media pages on Twitter at Domination PCast and also on Instagram at Domination Podcast. Thank you all very much for watching, and be on the lookout for more content coming soon.